what's up, guys? It's your girl, Chrys With A. I'm the one and only FUBU Radio. You know, I'm glad you tapping in and locked in, but you know the only way to truly stay tapped is to post. What else? Follow me. All right. Hey, what's up? It's your girl, Chrys. I'm the one and only FUBU Radio. I got a treat for you. I'm here with my boy, Scott Morris.
What's up? I'm here with Chrys. What's up? I'm here.
It's finally time
to
get into it. Listen, I need you guys to follow him, all right? Tell him where to find you because I want you to make sure you follow this interview, know who you're talking to, all right? You already know the vibes. You got to follow me and Chrys Childs, Chrys with that Y, and...
So you can do it two ways. You can go to Chrys page, because I do follow Chrys. Get me from there. Or you can go to Life of SMORRIS. That's Life of S. Morris. You can follow me. Just what's up. I'm easy to talk to.
All right. So let me tell you why this is important. This man right here, you're an inspiration. I'm not going to hold you. We've known each other a long time.
Facts.
And
as
like you know people,
when
you
was
see
at
them.
DTF. Wow. I ain't for a
That was
minute.
a long time.
Yeah.
Woo. Don't be telling people that. But now you are a major influence in music and in an industry. And the reason why I say that is I've been watching you. You know, it's a truly humbling thing to watch people around you grow and step into their greatness. And I feel like you're stepping into your greatness even and becoming a young legend in the making.
I appreciate it.
All right. So what I do know of you, you have a booking agency.
Yes.
You're also with Days Summit, which is your brand.
Correct.
Yes. And you just started a label.
Yeah, we just started.
All right. So I think we need to take it all the way back to the beginning and see how you got into this. So from what I do know, Days Summit, you do give artists the opportunity to perform and open for other artists.
Yes.
Correct?
So they get to perform for other artists. They get to network. They also get the opportunity to have charity involved because anybody that performs at the festival, we do give back. So we've been raising like funds to be able to donate some money towards high school grads to help them out. So we knock out that, and then also you connected with labels now. The past 2 years, we've been able to pull in like Interscope, Atlantic. Most artists don't get that opportunity to connect, build, or even have a chance to just build a relationship. So we felt that was important because we wanted to figure out if we're going to go with this festival, what is going to cause us to be around for 5 to 10 years and then eventually get sponsors and help the community in other ways. So,
I mean, that's definitely interesting because I don't even think artists even know how to get themselves in front of A&R. I mean, especially in the technology age where everything's at your fingertips. We're talking about TikTok artists, Instagram artists, YouTube, etc. It's almost like you forget that the labels exist. You know that that's the pinnacle. You know that's where you want to be. You want to be a signed artist. But a lot of people don't know how to get there. But before we go deeper into that and your whys, I want to know why you started.
So the reason why I started was, like I've always loved music, just being able to like see the influence when I was in high school, being a part of like ciphers, being able to connect with people because I was a big fan of Lil Wayne from high school. So then when I went to college, we ended up being a part of like different like groups. I was part of the radio organization. So we had to throw events. Marlon Dames, who was my mentor, ended up showing me that I had some type of influence. Like I was skipping class. It is what it is. I don't recommend anybody to do that. But that was a part of how I got here. Like connecting, networking, building relationships, being reliable, supporting people any way that I can. Then eventually we created Dean's List Tour. Dean's List Tour was our first way of getting into the colleges. I created Dean's List because I wanted to rap, you know what I'm saying? But I didn't know it had a bigger impact. But that's why I created Dean's List. I wanted to go on tour. I was just like, how do I go on tour? I see everyone else going on tour, so let me figure this out. We did Dean's List. Well, first year we did it, over 250 people signed up, and we had no official dates. All my homies was just in position. And everybody was just like, if you're going to do it, let's do it. We tried it. We did year 2. It went to 300 people coming out because we went to Howard University and University of Northern Texas. After we did those, we added other schools like Delaware State's Homecoming, and we just saw it growing. I had no clue what I was doing. I was just like, this is cool, and how do we get bigger? Eventually, if you have 500 people auditioning, not everyone's going to make it, So we got more into doing open mics. We threw a party because I wanted to raise funds so we can get out to Howard and keep our commitment to the people who agreed to have us there. And then we started doing open mics. Then open mics led to showcases. And showcases taught me, venues, in order for a venue to pay certain artists, you have to have influence to where they feel like your name on the flyer is going to pull tons of people, or you got to guarantee X amount and get some money. So we started doing those and building our relationships, and eventually we went from that to how do we throw shows in different places. So
it's like elevation, constant elevation.
You know? So it was just like trial and error that got us to the point like now we know how to do it. You know, it's just still things that we can learn and continue to position ourselves. But even recent, we had to learn how do we like really guarantee label reps or guarantee relationships or connection and understanding how does the music business work. Because a lot of people just see music business, but you really have to experience it or have good mentors to understand how does the music business work.
Right. You said Dean's List tour. Primarily focused on colleges, et cetera.
We did.
So when you used to get
Colleges
a lot of people
and high
auditioning, like were they auditioning from the colleges, or this was like kind of
all
like
over? It was just
all
like,
over?
you know, Instagram is like a real powerful tool, you know. When I was doing Dean's List tour the first year, I was still in college. I think it was 2012 was when we was doing Dean's List. I was still in school. So we did that, and then it was just because of word of mouth, because people forget like word of mouth is like so powerful.
Yeah.
Because you can spend a lot of money on marketing, but if people don't really trust the brand, it doesn't matter. So
word of mouth is because it comes from the soul. People believe you when you say it. I can see it, but if you don't say it.
And if your friends say it's cool, or they see their friend do it, or if they see their friend rock with the promoter, they coming outside. So we did that, and then Dean's List I didn't know about. Facebook advertising wasn't around at that time. Instagram advertising or the tools that they had wasn't around at that time. So it was really like you had to get people to push the campaign for it to grow. So it made me appreciate more like me keeping my word in the things that I do, because for me to get 250 people for someone who was still growing their name for the first audition, like when I look at it now, it's a big deal because there wasn't no ads that you can run, you know? So people would just word them out. This artist told this artist, are you auditioning? Are you auditioning? Are you auditioning? Yeah, I'm auditioning. Yeah, I'm auditioning. And like the biggest rep we had at that time was like Neo's road manager, which was Santos, and shout out to him, and DJ Michi from Connecticut. Those were the two like execs that really came out outside of the college students that was there. You know, and Sinclair too, because Sinclair used to work at J Records in King. So those were the ones that came out, and after we did that, like I said, it blew up. Like, but I didn't understand what I had at that time. It was just, I wanted to rap.
You wanted to rap. I'm like, what can I do to get myself out there? And you was investing in yourself and putting the time in. Now, the colleges, how were they receptive to the concerts and
it was
whole wave?
Like, the students was always, like, cool with it. You know what I'm saying? But, like, it also taught me just because, like, you get a college show doesn't mean necessarily as an emerging artist it may be booked right away. Some schools were packed. Some schools we had to go on the campus early and really talk to students to raise awareness. You know? And I only learned to do that because I remember like Wale had More About Nothing, the mixtape, and I saw that he had a show that was near one of the campuses that he had booked, and it was not really promoted. So he went on campus and promoted it and interacted with every student and told them, I got a show, and then it was flooded. So I learned that technique, and then I did that because we had one school that we went to that it wasn't really promoted. I don't think they did it on purpose, because, you know, like, yeah, this is cool. Yeah, they want to be a part of it, but it ain't easy to promote things, or whether it's free or not free, it's not always easy to convince people to come outside. So there was sometimes we would go on campus early, and we would just go, hey, what's up? We got a show. Hey, whatever it is. I like to talk to people, and it was just different ways. But when the show would happen, people were excited. Like, you know, it was real talented artists that wasn't really discovered, you know? And just to have that, you know, impact that they have, or seeing some of the people that was part of the tour, like shout out to Coco Sarah, she was on the tour early in the day, now she's working with Dr. Dre. You know? Kevin Antonio, him, and all of those is doing major stuff. D King, who's now owning Brick House. Like, we got real lucky to have a lot of people who've like been successful with their own moves, and those were the people who wowed the kids. You had people who's really working hard.
They working.
Yeah, I was really confident when these just came to people's schools. Like, I knew that we had extraordinary talent. I knew that once we got there and the show started, there wasn't a student alive or a student that came to that was going to say anybody was right.
That's good. So you definitely put the time into like. So what goes into the grooming process? Do you expect these artists to be ready? What do you tell them when they're auditioning? Or do they pretty much know what they're signing up for?
I don't think any of us knew what they were signing up for. To be honest, like it was just
you're like, yo, we just want to get our music out there, so we gonna do it.
I just look. It was just I got lucky that people trusted me.
Okay.
But like when I understood it now, because it was just like we had the schools. We know that we was gonna get you to the schools. Like then high schools end up being a part of it because I was just like, dang, if the college wasn't that lit, I need to get them a packed crowd. This was just off of just me feeling like I don't ever want people to ever feel like it wasn't fulfilled what I promised or promoted. Right. That's just who I am as a person. So when they came, then John Jay, because like I was popular at the school, like the school really supported me. So we had Mondays, I would have rehearsals. We would have, like when I look at it now, like so many people, like 20 people coming into John Jay campus due to the support that I had. We doing rehearsals on a Monday. We sharpening our tools. The artist is performing their song, getting ready for the show, and giving feedback so people are becoming better performers. And it was really committing to coming on that Monday for rehearsals.
That's dope.
You know what I'm saying? And that's how we like actually built our bonds and like built those relationships because we would see each other every single Monday. So we learn about each other, we would critique each other, and we get ready. And whoever was dope was dope. And that's how sometimes they was able to collaborate and create songs together too.
No, that's actually very important that you said that because people just think you just come on stage, you just that person, you got the it factor, and that's it. And I know you hear that a lot, like the it factor. What is the it factor in your opinion? Because you've had interactions with thousands of artists at this point. Yeah,
I think for me the it factor is like it's charisma. I think that's really really important. Because you can be attractive to people multiple type of way. If you're not physically attractive to somebody on like instant like look, like you may be able to charm someone because there are times when you deal with people, you be like, yo, you really wasn't my type, but because you are just so dope, you can hold a really good conversation and you spark this, now all of a sudden like I'm attracted and I want to be a part of everything you do. So I think with the it factor, it's just figuring out how do you provide some type of attraction to people to get them to be one part of what you do. Like it could be from the way that you dress, it could be to the way that you wear your hair, your smell. It could just be how you do it because it's like you're winning people over to turn them into fans.
Yeah, I think that's what a lot of people forget. You have to win the people over because it's not just about you because, I'm sure that you've had a few artists where it's like, I'm that person, I'm this, but, maybe they're not putting the work in or they're not developing themselves or investing in themselves.
Yeah, not everybody gonna be Kanye. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, it's once in the flu. Like, some people could be an asshole and they go work for them. Like, this is just who they are. But they figure it out, all right, this is an area of this that creates the conversation. Let me hone on this. Let me figure out how to create other elements to bring you back to me being dope. Not everybody's gonna have that. So with these people, it's just like you just got to figure out what it is about you. Like if you like Star Wars, there is a niche of people that like Star Wars too. That might just listen to your music just because you like Luke Skywalker. So you also got to hone into who you are as a person and be okay with that too.
Yeah, that's important to figure out who you are, who you speaking to, and what's your message. Because I think a lot of artists get caught up in the drum of it all, of just like being put in and churned out as the same artist. Like, well, I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm me, so it's different. And, I think music can sometimes be drowned out as a little bit more of the same. And I think it's important to have some type of dynamic to you. Your sound, your look. Looks get you in the door, but that ain't going to keep you in there.
That's a fact.
You can be a 20 on a scale of 1 to 10.
That's true.
But if you don't have the talent or putting in the time to make your talent great, then you're missing out. One thing that I find
people got to build any personality outside of just the talent.
Personality, right? Because I was watching a couple of artists perform, because apparently it's tour season. We've seen a lot of people going on tour, and a lot of the in between. You have artists that speak to the audience, as if it's a one-on-one. It's super intimate, and to be able to create intimacy with a large crowd, that's chef's kiss. It really makes that artist stand out as a human being, someone that's relatable. But I think that comes with investment in self. And what do you think, in terms of how an artist invests in themselves? Because just going out there and going to the studio, I'm not sure if that's enough of an investment. What would you say?
I think it's just more than that. You know what I'm saying? Because you gotta look at it, right? Studio is how you create the product, right? But then how are you gonna advertise the product? How are you gonna get people behind it to support? So it just goes back to like what you said. Like, I feel like people just gotta like start learning who are they and why do they like the things that they like, and how do you be able to get people to fall in love with you,
right?
You know, so because with marketing, it's still going back to it. It's like once the record is created, you're the person who created the record. So I got to care about you to press play. You know what I'm saying? Because if we don't, no one is forced to care about your song.
This is true.
You
Just because you made it, don't make them care.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And it's two ways. It's like, do I want to hear the record because everybody on social media is saying this record is whack? So do I want to listen to it now because I want to be a part of the conversation? Or do I want to support the record because I support you as a person and I want to see you win because I like you and I want to figure out how can I get to be a part of what you do? How can I spend time with you? It's just figuring out what about you attracts yourself to people. If you're going to go the positive route, you're going to go the negative route, and you want people to just talk because it's drama, then cool. Then once you got the drama and they talking about you, what you going to do? You going to donate to charity? What you going to do? Have an event? Like, what's your follow-up plan?
Yeah, what's the follow-up plan? I think a lot of people don't even think about that. It's like, I'm going to be a star. Then what? You know, how do I get there? What do you think is the biggest mistake that artists make, especially coming brand new through the door?
You said the biggest mistake that I think people make coming back through the door. Artists? Pissing people off.
Pissing people off?
Only because it's just like, you know, they teach us the essentials to how to be successful from grade school. Treat people how you want to be treated. And I think sometimes, like, in the process of, like, going through our phases, like, we forget about that, you know? An artist will create, you'll have somebody who's an exceptional artist. Like, they have the power to create just extraordinary records. Because some people are just really, really creative. And to do that is magic sometimes, you know? But then they may take people for granted. You may not treat your team properly. You may not, you know, treat, like, let's say somebody got you coffee. You don't say thank you. It's just the small things that people miss out on, that they don't do it on purpose. But those are the things that do help take you to the next level or get people to do anything and everything for you.
I think they forget sometimes that you want people to be a fan of you,
yeah,
not just the music, you know, and a part of that is being a humanist. You know, you have to realize that we all human beings. We all have our bad days and our good days, but you can't just be out here just acting crazy.
Facts.
One question I did want to ask, because I heard a lot of different things, you know, especially in the age of social media where, you know, we put up one picture, you don't wear the outfits again, this, that, and the third, and especially when it comes to promoting things. A lot of people don't like to promote the same thing over and over again. Especially when you're an artist, you know, they come up with this one song, they bump it for a little bit, then they coming out with something else. But then I heard from another A&R rep that you should actually push the same single as hard as you can. What truth behind that is there?
So it is a lot of truth with it, because you gotta look at it is to, like, really push a record and pump it takes anywhere between a minimum of like 6 months, could possibly be like 2 years. It doesn't mean that you don't continue to release other records, because you're building a catalog, right? So, and then when it comes to the songs, you can market a song, but again, you still don't have control of what goes viral. The streets decide that. So in the process of going outside, it's when you promote a record, you campaign it. Right? There's 50 states. There's industry events. Like, there's social events. There's supporting other artists where you're connecting. So you have to be outside because you're shaking hands. It's no different than when, if I want to run for president, right? They have actual campaigns. They're outside. They're voting, because at the end, you have to be the person that comes out to where everyone believes in order for you to represent that party. It's the same thing. You're campaigning. You're telling people, believe in me. That's the goal. Or believe in this record, or believe in what I'm doing. So yes, it does take like a good amount of time, but you shouldn't stop promoting it, because the thing is, if you perform that record 1 million times in New York City, New Jersey ain't hear it, Connecticut ain't hear it. You know, if you get a good team that knows how to market a song, doesn't mean it's gonna blow up. It might hit the numbers it need, but you still got to keep pushing it. So it is true.
Yeah, I think that's super important, because like you said, there's 50 states. A lot of artists feel like, oh, well, I have this city on lock. I'm good. I don't need to do much more than this. And traveling is important, because you're right. Like, I might have never heard of an artist if they didn't travel to New York from another state. There's a new group that I'm like so into, and I feel like I figured it out like right before the blow like really happened. Flyana Boss, those two girls.
But I'm gonna look into them.
They are so dope. You know what I'm talking about, right?
They the one that they run during their
That's what caught my attention.
Yeah.
And I thought it was so insanely genius because, I mean, I had never heard of them before, but it was so catchy and it was fun. But it was like 50 videos of the same song.
Same song, running in different locations.
And I just thought it was so dope. And now to see that BET and other networks are giving them their accolades, I have like a sense of like pride. I don't know them. But I'm like, yes, I like to see it. And there are talented people. We don't just have to listen to the mainstream artists, you know, your Beyoncés, your Drakes, when it seems like, you know, one artist is dominating the entire music industry. You know, it's nice to hear up and coming artists, you know, and hear that fresh take on it, but they don't put the investment in themselves. Right. And I think that's where a lot of artists kind of fail at. You know, they get frustrated because they're not getting the attention that they feel like they should be getting. But it's up to you to make that happen, right? Yes. Got to be a boss.
It's true.
All right.
The definition of insanity is continue doing the things that you always done and expecting different results.
That's
so it's
right.
like if you're doing, it's kind of like those I don't want to just narrow it down to old heads, but people who make music and expect people to support them and didn't change their marketing strategy or didn't change the way they sound or their style. Right. And it's like, I got no supporters. And then they have that energy towards like, oh, I'm not getting support, and they just hate that. It's like, bro, you got to look within yourself and change your mode, you know?
And then like you got to keep in mind too, some people just don't know business. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like business for us and people, like, you know, it doesn't come overnight, and we don't, just because you're in the music business or you create music don't mean people just giving it out to you. You know?
I think that's the most profound thing. It's not overnight. I think a lot of these people think like these people, they were just discovered, plucked out of obscurity. And it's not that. You put in the blood, sweat, and tears. You know, I've known some people who've done it 10 years, you know, you right about to give up, and then on that 11th year, you know, you just blow, and people respect you for putting it in. You got to put the time in for anything.
Yeah, you got to look at like Ross. You have some people who are older, right, that have, because you don't get too many people that hit 30 plus that make it through the like threshold. So you got Ross, who made it at an older age on a mainstream level. Benny. You have 2 Chainz. He had to rebrand himself. You know what I'm saying? And then you have, for example, Benny Butcher. That's someone right now that I really like him because he's a boss. I think he's an incredible rapper. And he has a management deal with Rock Nation. So there's many ways that you can make it through. It's not too many people that's going to make it like until they figure out how to change their mentality. Because that's a main part of it. Because no matter, because like you can make good songs, but you gotta look at it. A label could just make you a songwriter. Call it a day.
Yeah, like, that's it.
You make good records, but the artist I got, it's good to be branded. I'm gonna pay you to write the song. You got your bread, but we gonna put the money in this artist, and never care to put the bread in you. You got paid out, bro. Just make sure I got my stuff on time.
Yeah. Rebranding. I think a lot of people are afraid to rebrand. You know, we have such a hold on how we see ourselves, our own identity, that I think some people even look at rebranding as death or I'm not being real. What do you think, what's the best advice for someone who is on the verge of figuring out if they should rebrand or stay on the course?
So, you gotta have, my advice to people in general is to have a good circle of people that you could actually be open to and vent to, that you could trust. You know what I'm saying? Because that is part of how you're going to be able to do that. Because the thing is, a lot of us have an idea what we're supposed to do, even if we're supposed to rebrand, but sometimes we need reassurance. Or we need to speak to people in our close circle that will give us the advice that we're searching for. So, because the thing is, for me, like, when I rebranded, for example, like, Day Summit was still a rebrand. Like, I was always only doing influencers because it's the way that I thought to do. Then I went to another like area. I went to the South. I got to see how they do it, and I got to be around like different influential people like QC, my boy Moss, and different people that got to show me something different to help me understand, add this, and it's gonna change. So to the people, they're like, it's newness. You know what I'm saying? I did less shows, I added something different, and now the world is like, this is amazing. So it's just, you have to just change your circle and figure out who the people you're talking to and who you're connecting with. And you have to be okay with letting go. Like, letting go is like really, really hard for us, especially when we hold on to something for so long. We may have that feeling of knowing this isn't right, but due to the fact that we're so used to it, and this is all we know, and we don't know what the other side looks like, it's a scary thing. So we have to get over our fear of letting go.
Yes, I like that. That's like a moment of motivation. You know, I do my moment of motivations. I sit here and I talk about the inspiring things, and letting go is something that people have such a hard time doing, you know, of loved ones, of toxic relationships, of jobs, etc. You know, it's part of growth. It's part of growth. And sometimes we strong and wrong, but you got to take yourself outside of that and think about what's the ultimate goal, where are you trying to be, and does this serve the purpose in order for me to get there?
That's a fact.
Self-evaluation. All right, so let's get into it. So let's talk about what you're doing now. Days Summit just finished in Texas, right?
Yeah, I appreciate you. yeah.
Just came through. What was the end of that? The 20th to?
Yeah, we did like the 15th to the 20th. So that was our first time. So this was the first time Days Summit went on tour. So we did Dallas, Texas, because, you know, Houston it's a really big party city. Like, you know, shout out to the Prince family and everybody who has done everything that they've done to make Texas a big thing. But Houston is like the Atlanta or the New York City of that area. Most things come through there. Then you have Austin, where they'll have Austin City Limits and South by South. But Dallas didn't really have anything, from my understanding of coming to Dallas in the community. So I just figured, you know, I was inspired by, I wouldn't have Days Summit if I didn't go to South by South. I saw what I'm doing in South by South, showcases, community, all these people, film festivals, influencers, promoters, managers. I'm like, okay, cool. Why don't we have that in New York? You know what I'm saying? So then that's how I ended up birthing something in New York. And then I said, you know what? If I want to take this on the road, then I need to at least start with Texas, because it's a proper way to do things. I saw it there first, then I saw A3C. So if I want to get the support of the United States over time, it's a right way to do certain things. So we went to Dallas, and like the community responded really well. We had people come from Phoenix, Sacramento, because we went to those places before and follow us. Then we had Dallas get behind it. We had the biggest like media company on Instagram partner with us to raise awareness. So everybody in Dallas knew what was going on, like from the biggest influencers to artists going up to like different people that have like pull from like the radio. We had a lot of media that wanted to get involved, and we had certain influencers out of Dallas. You know, shout out to Curtis. He's an artist I've been working for a good amount of time. Like get involved, and then the community there was excited. Like I brought Rock Nation to them, I brought Atlantic Records to them, I brought QC because I have a position there. Shout out to Two Official. So I brought there, and then that was the first time we introduced that, you know, we're building awareness for our label. So like we had a packed show for our label for something that is just brand new. It was cool, but it just goes to show you, if you do right by the community, they're gonna support you.
Right.
So we had our first label stage, and then my boy Nathaniel, I helped him get his situation with Empire. So they came out for his thing too, because I've been working together with him, and we helped each other out. And we did that. So we had two companies that we don't have as much pull as Rock Nation yet, but the streets believe in us. Right. Because both days those was packed. And I wasn't sure. Like, to be honest, I knew the Rock Nation stage would be packed, and the Atlantic one was packed. I knew those because people know those companies. Right. Like, you know, that's 10 years of them having successful artists attached to them, releasing, rolling out. So we know those companies. But mine was just like, it was overwhelming, because it was like, I didn't know I was going to get that. The support was there. Yeah, like, I ain't going to lie. I didn't know that I was going to get that type of support. Or even me telling the audience, like, I'm going into the label business, and this is what I've been doing. They showed up. It was cool. Because it was like, you performing for me. Like, that's dope. Yeah. I'm regular, but I appreciate that you see me as something else. But
they see it. They see the vision.
Yeah, it was cool.
That's dope. You know, especially like as an artist, you just trying to get out there and, you know, to be able to recognize, because I think a lot of people, they want to go for the big names. It's like, I want this and I need this, but they don't realize, like, you know, the smaller labels also have pull, and they're going to put that time into you. So definitely don't overlook the labels and the people trying to help you, even though we all have a place that we're trying to get to. I mean, we even said it before we got on the cameras, like, you know, sometimes a big fish in a smaller pond, you're going to just thrive, literally, you know, and then take over. It's hit the ground running from here. So I see you promote that you have a lot of spaces for artists to open for other artists. And I know your DMs be on Fire. You have a separate phone, don't you?
Yeah.
So tell me about that, because I mean, obviously, you know, you did this from your own love of music, right? To put artists in touch with, you know, the world. So tell me about how that process goes. And
so it's just different ways, because like people gotta look at it. It's like every person I work with has different things. Like for example, like when the baby ran through New York City, like my job from SOBs was to book one of the openers to help like sell tickets. A lot of these venues want people that sell tickets. You gotta look at it. If a venue holds 500 people and you're gonna be an opener, and they want bar sales, they want packed crowd, they want that look, because it's still a business. They want you to pull out. You know, sometimes you might get lucky where you have a great relationship with a manager and they'll give you a look, you know, because maybe you're popping in your community or you did a favor. Right. But 90% of the time, it's a numbers game. You know what I'm saying? The talent matters once they know that you're good, you know? Like, but it's just more, you got to be able to pull people out. So
can you command a crowd? Will they come out for you?
Yes.
Will they spend on you?
Yep. And then there's other times it's considered a buy-in. Sometimes they don't even care if you can pull out a crowd. They just want, you want this marketing about from this audience that I built, here's the price. Because it's like, there's 2 tours right now next that we got to do. Like we booked a couple openers for Soulja Boy. One of them we have performing tonight. And then we have Jacquees's tour coming up where we got to book some openers for that too. So, but I've been doing booking for openers for a good amount of time, so I'm so used to it. So it's based on whatever the company requires. That's my job. You know, if you can't fulfill it, you can't fulfill it. It don't mean you can't perform on other things. Sometimes artists may get like, you know, I don't want to do this, or I want this big name. Well, it's business. You know what I'm saying? As long as you provide in business so you understand what it requires, then do it.
We gotta say business with a capital B. Yeah,
cause that's what it is. And I don't want artists to feel like, you know, if they can't afford the platform, like don't do it. Nah, like go at your pace. Slow motion is better than no motion. Like, you know, if you can't afford to do the big show, still do another show in a different city. Grow your brand. Start working it out. You know, figure out different ways. Because, you know, maybe your city not behind you yet, but, you know, you might go to North Carolina with your record and you might be able to sell a couple T-shirts, and now you can pay for this open slot for this artist. It's just figuring it out.
It's a scale. Yeah. And it's a level of investment, you know. You're going to invest in yourself, whether it's the photo shoots, the shows, the studio time. It all comes to how bad you want it and how much you're willing to put into it.
Once you decide you want to be a rapper, a singer, on a label, whatever you decide you want to do, it costs money to be in the music business. That's never going to change.
Yeah. Got to market, you got to travel, you got to do all this stuff. Right. I mean, listen, nothing great was ever free. You know, on your way to greatness, you're going to have some bumps, you're going to have some bruises, and, you know, you got to have some empty pockets, but you got to put it in. You know, I've definitely, you know, during COVID, you know, I want to do my radio stuff with FUBU. I had to invest in having my own equipment if I wanted to be good, if I wanted to put in that time. And a lot of people forget that, you know.
People respect you more too and pay for it.
Absolutely. So I want to know this, you know what I'm saying, according to you, because, you know, you're an artist first, but who is the biggest artist that you think, like, you've had another artist open for you?
Yeah, right now, I think Lotto, because right now she's the hottest, you know, so, because we've had, yeah, I would say Lotto, because Lotto and the Baby, those are right now currently 2 of the biggest. Like A Boogie is big too, because we had openers for him too. Yeah, I say Lotto.
Lotto?
Yeah, because right now she's on the chart. She's like one of the biggest that's currently out. You know, like Coil Ray is big too, don't get me wrong. You know what I'm saying? But I just feel like right now, when I look at the media, they're talking about Lotto was hot, Lotto scorching this, Lotto was here, Lotto was here. And Coil Ray is a really big artist too. So, you know, I don't want, just because I said Lotto, people to take it as this person is.
Yeah, we're not snubbing nobody. We just, you know, talking about the general excitement of it.
Yeah, I just go by like what I see in the media and the press. But like Lotto, we've done A Boogie, we've done The Baby. And these are people that we've had people open for. Soulja Boy's big, so we've added that. Gorilla, we had somebody open for recently as well. We had somebody open for Finesse 2 times too. So
I know the pressure is on when those artists have to open up for these bigger artists.
Yeah, it just depends on like your routine. Because the thing is, like, I don't know what they have to go through when they have to prepare themselves. You just gotta be mentally ready. Like, for example, like my boy, he about to be one of the opening DJs today for Soulja Boy at Sony Hall, right? He got to be mentally ready to be able to do what it is. But all he did was be in the right spot. Like somebody canceled, now he the DJ. And it's literally off of like me saying, yo, because I got to fulfill it. If an artist cancel, I got to fulfill it.
Yeah.
It don't matter if you can't do it or what happened or whatever it is. If you cancel, I got to fix it.
Yep.
No matter what. Because they going to look at me like, we trusted you.
Yep.
So, like, my DJ, like, today, like, you know, we rode up here. His only responsibility at first was to DJ the show yesterday, the show that we doing on Friday, and the show that we doing on Sunday. Today was his off day. Now he opening at Sony Hall for one of the opening DJs for Soulja Boy.
That's dope.
And it's just being on go. So sometimes I just feel like with people, you just gotta be mentally ready for anything because you never know when it's your shot.
That's right.
If you get the shot, just go 100%. Don't do nothing different than what you got you here. And then sometimes what artists do wrong is they'll get a big situation and they'll be like, you know what, let's test this new song. But this not the song that got you here.
That's not the song that got you here.
Like, why are we doing that? Like, do the song that works.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The goal is to get more fans. The goal is to get more opportunities. The goal is to get more, like, bookings, no pun intended. But, like, that's the goal, you know? If that's what it is, just do what got you here. Don't switch it up.
Yeah, not now. Don't do it now.
Yeah.
That's dope that you said that. Now, and like I said, you know thousands of artists at this point. So when it comes to having someone open up for a major artist, like, what is the criteria that you're picking them under?
So, like I said, it goes back to the company, right? Some companies are buy-ins, right? Me, I care about my name, I do, right? So, like, when it comes to stuff, like, a lot of artists, this is just me giving y'all straight up. Like, before I take your bread for something that a company may need, I do check your page. You know what I'm saying? Because I got to know what I'm going into, and I got to know if you're a risk or a liability, you know? So, I do check people's pages. And it's not that I don't want to reply to people. Sometimes I might feel like you just don't make sense for this. Because you can send me the bread and you cause me to lose my relationship. It's certain things is really not about the bread.
Yeah.
Just because you could afford it don't mean you're the right person for it.
This is true.
So some things have certain criteria. It's like they want like a buy-in, and if that's just the buy-in situation, then that's just what it is. It's like there's no way around it. There's nothing I can do. You know, if some people want tickets, you might have to put a down payment because you're telling this company that I have to trust you with these tickets that is valued at this price to me, and then I gotta promote and put your name potentially on a flyer or give you a flyer for you to go on social media and say you're gonna be at this location at this time. If you don't do your part, then you have to pay for those tickets. Yeah. Because we could have gave this to somebody else. And that's what artists just have to understand sometimes. Even if they don't like it, that is the business behind those situations.
Yeah. It's to make sure that you're not a liability.
Yeah. When it comes to me, sometimes I do, but if more bookings is power in the situations, and I got certain influencers, it's similar. Like it might be ticket sales. I might do an event where if I know an artist can't afford it, I might tell you, do this open mic. And if you stand out the most, I might give you a free look. It just depends on the situation. Every situation is different. I do it case by case.
I like that. You know, there's no particular formula to it. Just do what you're doing, artists. You know what I'm saying? Keep being fly, keep being dope, and be consistent.
Yeah, and if you're moving, I'm going to see you. I might reach out to you.
Yeah.
Like, I'm aware.
Like, I got eyes. I see what's happening.
Yeah, I see it. It make me come to you. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
That's true. That energy to have people drawn to you is something different.
If I see you doing your thing, I'm going to hit you. You know what I'm saying? If I feel like you still might work in it, don't mean I won't hit you. It just depends.
Keep working.
Yeah.
Keep
you know
working.
Because it's like people ain't giving me opportunities right away. I had to go for it. And I had to learn to appreciate that. People do really watch you. You know what I'm saying? When people feel like you make sense for the business that they got or the opportunity or the partnership, they going to hit you up. You know what I'm saying? And if they don't hit you right away, it don't mean that you ain't working hard. It just mean that you ain't working hard enough in their eyes yet.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you got to be okay, too, and start learning to appreciate what you do. Like, if you woke up today and you wrote 2 songs, that's great. Somebody, your opponent probably just only wrote 1. So you further than them. It don't matter at what pace you do, there's somebody that you beat. And you got to start putting it in your mind. Like, you know, there might be somebody that wrote 3 songs, but I wrote 2. So I'm ahead of somebody. You know start appreciating yourself more too in the process of the journey, because this stuff is hard. It can mentally kill you if you don't start figuring out routines or ways to start like getting yourself back on track, because it's like ain't nobody gonna pat you on the back. You gotta pat yourself on the back.
Yeah, you got to put in the time, the work, and you got to hone in on your skills. It doesn't stop. It's not like, okay, I made this fly song and then that's it. I'm that guy or that girl. So you definitely got to put the work in.
Fact.
And speaking of putting in work, you've been putting in that work. So we talking about, you started off rapping, Dean's List,
Fact.
Days Summit, and now we talking about a label?
Through the grace of God.
That's a beautiful thing. Now, I need to know your why first before we get into the nitty gritty.
For the label?
Yeah.
Man, I've learned to understand, for me, like, I'm really big on just servicing people. This is just who I am. I've come to learn, like, I had to like sit down with myself during COVID and just start understanding like my why. Like when I created more bookings, I knew that I wanted to be the bridge. I wanted to be the bridge between the mainstream and the independents. That's why we created it, And then in course of that, doing shows, starting to get a buzz a little bit, sometimes you can lose sight of the mission. It happens with people. So when COVID happened, it helped me figure out again my why. What am I doing this stuff? For me, it was never about money. You know what I'm saying? Because when you chase money, that is how you can go broke. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, and then when you start doing research on certain things, you start understanding, like, if you're for the people are going to make sure you're straight. Yeah. If you're for the people are going to give you resources. Like, and as long as it's genuine, the people feel like that, if something goes wrong, they'll forgive you too. You know what I'm saying? As long as the people feel like it's for them. So creating a label now, what we're doing is just part of my mission. I'm into servicing people. Like, I've always wanted to be the reason that I help somebody make some money, or I help this person become successful, or I help launch this career, I help put this person in position. So we've been doing those things with more bookers, but now we want to do it at a bigger scale. It takes time, it takes funding, it takes partnerships, it takes collaborations. But we do want to be a major part of people's success. I want to know that, like, because of us, we took Susie or Johnny from a random city that you probably wouldn't even think, and now they're making millions of dollars off of our leadership and them being who they are, There's a lot of people that deserve opportunities, but we just want to find people that just want to work hard, that have good charisma, that treat people good. That is really important to me, because it's like, I've learned when it comes, if we gotta have all the money in the world as we grow and start getting business funding and all of those things, but if I gotta force people to like you, that's a hard thing to do, because it's just like, you can't take people part to another level if it's hard to convince people to get behind it. Some of these people you look at that become stars, they became stars because people love them. Like, you be having people on social media saying, this person don't rap that good, but they're getting all the opportunities because people love them. It don't matter if you rap better than them, people love them more than they love you.
And they're willing to go through a person's development phase too. Because everybody can have development. Like, you practice at anything, you could do it.
That's a fact.
Doesn't mean you're gonna be a star, but if you put in that work, you gonna find yourself somewhere.
I ain't gonna lie, you could become a star if people love you. Because I've learned with these labels, they can hire writers. You don't know how to write, they can get a writing team, they can produce the record, because it's still a business. You know what I'm saying? Like, because most of these kids, you look at it between the ages of 14 and up, in high school, they're not thinking about who writing the songs. If they like the song and it relates to their life and they can have a conversation about it, they're going to tell their friend about it. So when it comes to like those things, you can create the writer, you can create the artist. But the thing that we can't really create and formulate too much is, are you likable? That got to be in you.
You can't fake love.
Yeah, I can't do that. It's like, if you're a good person, you're just a good person, because that's, you cut because your environment, maybe how you was raised. I cannot do that for you. I can give you advice, I can give you suggestions, suggestions and things, but you just got to be a good person. I cannot do that for you. Just like I can't make you a hustler. It's either it's in you or it's not.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? I can't do that for you. If you want to let people beat you all day, that's your choice. Like me, I'm not into that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't make people beat me. Like, if I feel like I'm losing, I'm going to get up. I might cry it out. Then I get up and I'm like, all right, cool. You know what? I'm tired of losing. I'm about to beat everybody. That got to be in you.
Yeah, it got to be in you. All right, so now in a time where we have, like I said before, technology at your fingertips, we have, a lot of people get famous off TikTok and Instagram and all these things. I think I think it's gotten lost on us what a record label is actually supposed to do. Can you clarify that?
So record labels are different things, but like what people got to understand with a label is like it's no different than if you was to go to a bank and get your own business loan. It's just that a lot of record labels at the time, they have a lot of resources. Those are the people who've like cultivated relationships with, whether it's radio, it's marketing directors, Spotify, people that do playlists. These are the people that's like the bridge between that. Like they help facilitate things to help elevate you in your career. Some labels have artist development where they have people on your team. I know it's a lost art, but some companies, like, you know, we believe in having more bookings. We want you to hold the mic in a proper way. We want you to be able to know how to do the show. We want to tell you why is it important to talk to these people, because sometimes a lot of artists don't have that educational sense of it to understand why they need to. Why, when you go to a show, you need to at least say hi to like 15 to 20 people on entry. You know, that whole thing makes a difference. Those people are going to remember you were this busy, you had to walk through and go to your section, but you said, hey, hi, hug this person. So it's like with the labels, it's just creating a way to like just facilitate and educate and just help people get the resources that they need and help the artists understand why those resources are important to help elevate them.
All right, that's dope. You said something super important, artist development, because that was the next thing I was going to ask as far as like how
I'm big on that. I think that's important.
That is important. And, you know, let's just say for the artists that are not currently there, not in front of the labels, so where they can get that coaching, what advice would you give any artist who's looking to develop themselves, but they don't even know how they should be before they even get to the label?
I would say pick an artist that you like and start figuring out why you like them outside of the music. You know, what is it that you like about them? Okay, when you look at them on social media, do you like their outfits? If so, why do you like their outfits? You know, okay, cool. If it attracts you to look at every single one of their outfits, that means you might be interested in fashion. Because sometimes when it comes to certain people, like when it comes to certain people, like we're attracted to things about them because these are things we like. And sometimes we don't even know we like these things.
You don't even know you're missing a calling because you like something about that person, but it might not be music, it might not be fashion, it might be this.
Yeah, because it's like, let's say somebody comes into a room, right? Let's say 5 people come into the room and all of them have an amazing perfume smell. And you compliment all 5, or at least 2 or 3. You like smells. And now you just learn that, oh, I'm attracted to smells. You know, so it's like you got to look at why do you like things about certain people to identify what is the things that you as a person likes or are attracted to. Then once you start understanding that, you try to figure out how do I incorporate these things within my brand, whether it's through resources in the future or even write it out as a future goal.
Yeah, that's dope. All right.
That's how I learned it.
Now it's reverse engineering.
Yeah, that's how I started to, like, you know, like for example for me, like I want to go into influencer marketing now, right? But I had to learn, okay, as an influencer, what could I provide, or what type of fashion sense, or what things do I like about people, or what attracts me? Like, you know, like I know for me, I want my beard to be a certain way. Why do I like my beard to be a certain way? Because I've seen certain people that I like their beards that way. So then now I look at it as maybe it would look good in me that way. So that's how to identify like what are things that I like or what attracts me about people. Yeah.
You ask yourself the questions, you know what I'm saying? It's really simple at the end of the day, you know? Style, charisma, your look, your sound, you know, even just your swag. Because even when I was talking about the artists that have that intimacy, like you might like being intimate with people in a large crowd, and that makes a difference, you know, and it does have that special factor to it. All right. I like it. We flowing.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
We feeling good. You good over there, Mike?
Straight.
All right. So
shout out to Mike.
A&R, right?
Amongst other things, yes.
Amongst other things, yeah. You know, the videographer, you know, you're creative.
Yes, ma'am. Mike play 100 roles.
Come on, Mike. You know, I want to get some words from you. So as far as being A&R on the label, like how, describe A&R, because I don't think a lot of people know. They know that it comes with a record label, but I don't think they know actually what A&R is supposed to do.
So as far as like my A&R work is concerned, I'm generally interested in people, right? The music comes second. So like if I find you interesting, like what about you is interesting? Like how we say you have to be attracted to something, right? So like I could like this person's swag, or I could like how this person walks, or like this person's smile, like this person's energy when they come in the room. Okay, cool. Now let me hear your music. Oh, your music sounds dope. Maybe it doesn't sound too dope and like with this beat, or like your lyrics is not really hitting, or like your delivery is like, you know, that could all be worked on. But do I like you first? That's what's important for me. if I can tolerate you as a person and enjoy your company, then it's like, all right, what's next? Because everything else can be worked on. Like you have babies singing, you have cats singing. So if these things can be worked and wrapped in a product, who's to say I can't turn this awesome individual into a star? So I look for if I could be around you. You know, so that's what's important for me. And then also the music. Like I like music that makes me feel something, as well as lyrics too. So like I also enjoy fun music, but me specifically, I look for like, what are you saying in your music? Does it resonate with me, or can it resonate with people? Does it pass the grandma test? Does your grandma listen to it and be like, I like that? And does babies?
That's a good one, the grandma test.
If babies can bop to it and grandma can bop to it, then that's a good product, you know? So that's kind of what I look for.
Because you're transcending generations.
Correct.
It's just it's
like Michael Jackson. You have people of all different races bopping to Michael Jackson, and it's like it don't matter if you're black or white, just like Michael Jackson said, right? If he's breaking through all generations because his music is groovy, it has a great production, he sounds good, you know, his swag's on point, he can dance, he's literally everything, you know.
You know, them Virgos,
people were crying from Michael Jackson. People were crying
just
from
to
Michael Jackson.
You know,
I mean, legit losing themselves. I mean that. I mean, I love Michael since I came out the womb, so it's just one of those things, you know. You're absolutely right, because you have to like someone, you have to love someone to invest in them. We don't invest in anything that we don't like. And like you said, artists have to ask themselves those hard questions. Am I likable, you know, enough for people to invest in me? Because I can't do this by myself. You can be whoever you think you are, but you cannot do it by yourself.
I agree. And then also to add on to that too, it's like what I see other A&Rs doing is they just look for the hottest thing, you know, and that necessarily for me really isn't too important. Like, yeah, it's important because you always want to capitalize on waves, trends, and things like that, but it's like, just because they're hot now doesn't mean they're going to be hot later, you know? So,
because trends are exactly that. That's dope. All right, Mike. So, you know, we're running out of time, but I'm going to have to ask y'all this very important, influential question. All right? Y'all in music, who is your biggest musical influence that made you say, nah, this is it for me for life? Like, this is what I'm doing.
Well, for me, it changes at different times for me.
I love that.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's just like, it just depends on what I'm going for or what it is. Like, for example, right now, two of my biggest inspirations, like when it comes to like music, Larry June is one. I like him because he's an artist, he's a businessman, he owns his label, he markets himself, you know, and he's doing it his way. And he was able to be consistent just with having clean, simple videos. He's a simple dresser. He doesn't do too much. Because, like, for me, I'm into simple. Simple works for me because it's like, as I continue to grow, I'm like, all right, what are the things that I like, you know? I like nice shoes. I like nice belts. I know I like nice watches. I like this chain. Don't have to be nothing too crazy. Because for me, I look at it as just, you know, Larry June, that's a guy that has over millions of dollars, right? And he doesn't dress too flashy, but he's still clean and attractive to the people, to where the people come. Dom Kennedy, I like him because Dom Kennedy owned his own company, figured out how to be able to flip his money and stay afloat. Like, his peers are successful, but he's successful. Like, they didn't pass him. So it's like, Kendrick Lamar and Don Kennedy can go to a casino if they wanted to. They both could put up bread. Don Kennedy is independent. Kendrick Lamar is major, but they had two different paths that they went about. Like Nipsey, I've always liked, because Nipsey was the artist that he was signed before, then he went independent, but he had his beliefs because he wanted to make sure that before he signed his next deal, his team has to get the credit for the work that they did, and these are the people he positioned because those are the people putting his salary. So right now, those are people that I look at, and then right now, I like 50 Cent currently. I like the way that 50 is creating those partnerships with, like, the NBA companies, like Sacramento Kings. Like, he's going into the smaller markets and figuring out how to be able to pitch his brand and partner what it is, because he's getting a lot of visibility outside of what he's doing on the film side. People are missing a lot of business moves he's making, and strategically he's choosing, like I said, certain markets. Like, he moved to Houston, so it makes sense for him to not be a dominant force there. And then you got to deal with Sacramento. Like, we went out, we went to Sacramento through a whole show, so we already know what that is. Most people don't go to Sacramento to do business. Yeah. So going to Sacramento and seeing him capitalizing on the market, I can only imagine the next 5 years what he has in motion to make that city really a place to go. So I like 50 Cent's move, and I like how he's giving advice and how he's be able to leverage the man to bring in more business. Like, I know he ain't doing no interviews just to do interviews. He's attracting the people to him. So, like, those are people right now that inspire me for how I want to shape what I'm doing on the music side, on the entrepreneur side, on the label side. And when I look at the label side, I like Yo Gotti. I like what Yo Gotti is doing with CMG. He's making it as a family. Like, when you look at it, is no one's bigger than the mission. Yeah, I do like that because Glorilla is her own brand, but it ain't bigger than CMG. You know what I'm saying? Moneybagg Yo is his own brand, but it ain't bigger than CMG. So they're all on equal playing fields, and that's something that I see too with Cash Money. I see with Quality Control. So these are Southern labels that figured it out. So I just do hope in the near future, you know what I'm saying, I'm able to show that too. So when other people are looking at what we're doing in the Northeast, if you want to model it, you want to work with us, you want to do business with us, you want to invest in us, you understand that we all win together, you know?
I love that, and I can definitely see how that inspires you in a number of ways. All right, Mike.
I'll keep mine brief. You had an excellent
that's kind of hard to follow. I'm not gonna lie.
No.
Yo, I really like
because you really in it. You know what I'm saying? Like you said it earlier, you're passionate about it. You know. So my favorite artist right now, and who inspires me generally in the music and outside of the music is Big Sean. I think Big Sean's message and how he words his lyrics and how he makes his music is amazing because you have that very turn up, very fun music. Is very ignorant, can be very ignorant sounding, but is very deep. The lyrics, the message he says, it passes the grandma check, He is amazing as far as like his qualities as a man. So, he gives back to his community. He makes sure his family's straight. I think that's very, very masculine, very dope. I'm inspired by that. He makes sure his shorty's straight. He got his money's in the right area. He's putting programs, putting the kids and the youth first. And I love that. So shout out to Big Sean for that. As far as like the music and I guess like who's inspiring me and for like nuggets in the game and who's giving back to the people as far as artists coming up, La Russell. La Russell's La Russell's been dropping a lot of gems lately on Instagram. Free game. He's for the people. He created a program where it's like he doesn't charge at his shows. You donate. So it's like who's to say like someone always wanted to see an artist perform, but they can't. They literally have $1 in their pocket. Someone who did that before was J. Cole. What was it, $1 million? The Dollar Dream Tour.
When he first was active. But like that was smart too.
I love that. So it's always thinking about, like you said, take care of the people. The people's gonna take care of you. So it's like, he brings that. La Russell brings that energy where it's like, y'all want to see me? You could totally come see me. Like, give me what you can't afford, And he makes opportunity work for everybody. Of course, there's other ways where he makes his money because if someone's a supporter of him, you could donate anywhere up to $10,000, $1,000, $1. It doesn't matter. If someone sees that, they say, I like him. It's like what he was saying. You see a little bit of yourself in someone else. So if someone may not have the financial funds, but they know if they were in a position, they'll be doing something like that or giving back. So, they'll probably pay it forward 10 times more,
Leaves a lasting impression.
And so that's Sean, La Russell, and Russell. Russ. So I really like Russ. Russ is dope, the DIY king. Because before he was on, not much rappers were like doing a DIY like type of information. It's just like you was talking offline. You saying information is very powerful. He's been dropping music every day. Every day of like his starting career until it blew up, but it's like he's been telling people what to do as far as like how to make it, or like he's been sowing the seeds and people just hasn't been paying attention. But now it's like people are paying attention. Now it's like everybody's a content creator. Everybody's like trying to get their career going on TikTok and everything. He's been doing that, But I think it's dope that he wrote a book showing people how to give it.
He didn't just hoard on the information.
Yeah, he's willing to just dispense the information to everybody, and I love when artists give back like that in that capacity, So those are artists that inspire me.
Nah, that's dope. I mean, I definitely feel the love, and I think one of the big things is love and feeling. You know, I think we get too into the hype of things, of who we want to be, that we lose sight that this is a connection. You know, to be able to do music, movies, to write books, there has to be a connection to something, and you're looking to be connected with other people.
For sure.
So I appreciate you guys dropping some knowledge and jewels, and definitely talking about how artists can develop and, you know, be hooked up with something great. Because when you were talking about the artist isn't bigger than the label, you know, it just brings me back, you know, when Murder Inc. and G Unit, and that's when it was great, you know, because you had like, oh, I love these artists and everything.
It was
you knew
it was teams, you know.
You seen they dropped the documentary on Apple TV?
No, I didn't see it yet.
It's the Murder Inc. documentary.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah,
I ain't gonna lie. Like Herb Gotti, you learned a lot of different things because, you know, people got their views on Herb Gotti, but for me, it's just like when you looked at it and you see what he had to do, how he got in position, you know what I'm saying, how he leveraged those artists as well. So they got put in position too, to be able to create what it is, you know. So it's cool to see it, you know.
Yeah.
And a lot of the things, like I said, like those were teams, you know. But I mean,
and that's the blueprint, though.
Gonna happen.
But that's the blueprint right there. You know what I'm saying? And I think the biggest takeaway from this is you can't do anything alone. If you know, anything. We're not even just talking about music, anything, you know, and who you have around you is a direct reflection of where you're going to end up. So, all right. Yo, thank you for coming by.
Nah, we appreciate you. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. Scott, let them know where to follow you once again.
Guys, y'all can follow me, Life of S. Morris. That's where it's at. Just hit me up. You know what I'm saying? Let's just build.
All right, what's coming up next?
So we have, so we're doing a show tomorrow with Gabe. Cause I know a lot of people want to meet Gabe from On the Radar. So we're doing that in Queens tomorrow. Sunday we in Philly. So for the artists in Philly, we bringing Atlantic Records to see them. And then next Tuesday we in Springfield. Next Wednesday we in Connecticut. The next Thursday, we are in New Jersey. Then Sunday, we back in Atlanta because Soulja Boy performs in Atlanta. And then we have New Orleans, Texas. So any other dates y'all open to, we have it on social media. Then we have industry weekends where we doing shows at. So we have Revolt World in Atlanta. We'll have some events. A3C, we have some shows. BET Hip Hop Award Weekend, we got some shows. And then One Music Fest. And then Day Summit will be in Phoenix in November. So that'll be the first time Day Summit does the West Coast. Okay. So those are what we have coming up to the end of the year. But we got events up to 2024. We already know what we're doing. So.
Listen, if you're an artist and you're trying to make it, you cannot afford to not follow these people, okay? Mike, tell them where to follow you at, too.
Yeah, so my Instagram handle is The Official Mike D. That is TheOfficialMicD with 2 E's. Aside of my A&R duties, I am also a videographer, graphic designer, stop motion artist. I'm also an artist. I created a lane of music called Trap Anime. I've fused trap music and anime. I put it together and give it that awesome pizzazz, you know. So
we're gonna have to come back to that another time.
I want people to know too. Look, man, whatever your dreams are and goals with us, we not stopping you from chasing them. Let's work together. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, for example, like, he an artist, I'm an artist, but I like people that just know how to take that hat out, and when we doing work, let's get to the next level.
That's good. All right. Y'all heard it here first, all right? Just make sure you follow these people right here. This is Scott Morris. This is Mike. All right? Sure. And make sure you stay tuned and make sure you keep it locked right here on the one and only FUBU Radio. I'm your girl, Chrys Childs, Chrys with a Y. Do not ask me why. Just do it.
Hey.
Outside.
Active.